Hey, hockey fans, and welcome back to another edition of Puck My Life. Tonight, I'm joined with Cody. How we doing there, sir?
I'm doing well.
That's good to hear. Well, tonight we're going over yet again another game experience. We're trying to get caught up on a lot of these game experiences that Cody and I have been to over the last few years. And this one pretty much kind of kicked things off for the most part. Do you remember, Cody? Like, I was thinking about it earlier today, like how we even came up with the concept to like go out and like do this road trip, like how it like kind of came to be.
Oh man, that's jogging the memory. Um,
Yeah.
I think it was just an idea of like, man, it'd be fun to go out and see some of these teams. I mean, Ontario's not far, and then I think we kind of got into the game planning. Just kind of talking about it, and they're like, well, this actually would be not that too hard to do. They're, Toronto and Ottawa, not too far apart, and swing right up there.
Yeah, so this game actually took place on October 17th of 2017, and they took on the Vancouver Canucks, and the Ottawa Senators play in, actually it's technically just outside of town, so like it's still like in the Ottawa like greater metro area, but they are outside of town. For us to get out there, 8 hours, 1 minute, and 493, 95 miles to get out there. So it's a bit of a haul. Cody and I actually did this all in one day. I think we left at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning or something.
It's
wasn't
pretty
it?
early, yeah.
Yeah, so this was game one of a 2-game road trip. So we actually took a day to get out to Ottawa, and then we kind of hung out there that night. The next day, we kind of bummed around town, walked downtown. Then we went to the game that night, stayed over one more night in Ottawa, and then we ended up going to Toronto and seeing the Maple Leafs take on their Wings. That will be our next game experience that we'll be going over. So we'll conclude that game experience will be the conclusion of this road trip that we went on in Ottawa. So the Ottawa Senators play at the Canadian Tire Center, which is located just outside of Ottawa, as I previously stated. So as you can see, yeah, there's really not much, if anything, out there. Behind us where we took this picture, there was like other buildings, and I think there was like, wasn't there actually like a Walmart or something? There was like some other
Yeah.
big businesses. There's like a shopping center like back behind us where we were when we took this photo. But yeah, it was pretty much as far out of town as you could pretty much be for the most part. So here's the inside. And one thing that I did not like about this game experience, and I'll say it right off the bat, was the angle of viewing for the upper bowl. It was the sharpest angle that I've ever encountered at any hockey game. And I was actually uncomfortable for the first like 10-15 minutes. I was a little uneasy sitting up there. It took me a little while to get used to it, but it ended up being all right. And the seats, actually our seats weren't really that bad. Did you have that same feeling as well, Cody, that I did, kind of a little bit of a knot in your stomach?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, I guess, nosebleeder experiences where it really feels like, if I trip, I'm going to end up on the ice. I think the only arena I've been to that felt worse than this was the Barclays Premier Center in Brooklyn, New York. So this was, it was steep, put a little pit in your stomach.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and, like I said, after a while it was okay, but if we were to ever go back, definitely not sitting up there again. All right, so one cool thing about this game is this was the first time that Cody and I had ever watched a hockey game in Canada. I think it was for both of us, right? It was the first time we'd ever seen a game in Canada. But also, it was the first time we ever seen two Canadian teams play at the same time. Now, we had seen other teams play Canadian teams in the States, but we'd never been to a game where we saw two Canadian teams playing against each other in one game. So that made things interesting because, like, in the States, when a Canadian team comes over, they play our national anthem and then they play their national anthem. But at this one, they just played "O Canada," and then it was done. Like, that was it. So it was a little bit different for that. We weren't, as far north to where it was like French speaking or anything, but it was still pretty cool to view that. All right. So first thing we like to talk about in our game experiences is the parking. So in the map that we have here, you can see Canadian Tire Center right there in the middle. We came in through gate 1, and we actually parked right behind where it says bus parking. We were on the other side of the road, and I think it was that far lot. Because I remember when that picture that you saw, that was just after we took the corner around this how you say it? Palladium Drive?
Palladium, maybe?
Palladium?
One of us is right.
Yeah, one of us is right. And anyway, that drive, that's where that photo was taken, right around that corner. So we were just parked right back there. It wasn't really too bad. We actually were in it was a cheaper paid lot. It wasn't one of the ones that was owned by the arena. It was like $10 to park there, Canadian. So it wasn't really that bad. But there's, with this being outside of the city, not in the downtown setting, I mean, you can see there's tons of parking lots all over the place. So parking did not seem like it was an issue at all. And then if you look just above in the photo, the highway was right there. So it was really quick for us to get out there, really quick to get right back, because we were staying in downtown Ottawa at the time. So overall, parking and everything was really good. All right, next up, tickets. So one thing about the Ottawa Senators is of the Canadian teams, would you say, Cody, that they're definitely on the bottom half of the popularity scale?
I think so. They're on the lower end of the Canadian teams. I think, if I remember right, it was the season prior to this is when they made the run to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they were getting dogged a little bit for not selling out in the playoffs, even when they were in the conference finals.
I do remember that now that you mentioned that, but I mean, still a good team. They have a rich history, and with that being said, I mean, tickets were really cheap. This was for 2 tickets, guys, and $75 with fees and everything. So it really wasn't all that bad. You can see we sat in section 322, row N, and does not have our seats listed on there, but yeah, it was. Yeah, this I thought this was really cheap, but at the same time too, this was like toward the beginning of the season. There wasn't any implications of this game and everything, but it was, like we said earlier, it was really cool to go in and see 2 Canadian teams go at it. All right, next up is merch. So I really didn't have a photo of the team shop, but except for this one where you can see the team shop in the background through the concourse. So it wasn't really big, but it was nicely done. It was nicely laid out, and they actually had a lot of really cool stuff. And right now we're going to go over what we actually got from the team store, and Cody's going to go over how we ended up getting these in the first place.
Yeah, so we were sitting there. I think we were down near we went down to near the ice for the warm-ups, if I remember right. I remember, we're sitting there watching them warm up. Yep. And then on the Jumbotron, they said that they, if you're interested, the warm-up pucks will be for sale at the team store during the first intermission. So I think we saw that and like, ooh, that's something neat we haven't seen before. So I think we kind of schemed that once the intermission came up, we were gonna scurry down. I think we even left our seats early to get down there.
I think we did, yeah.
Because we're and sure enough, we got down there, and it was like Black Friday. These things were going off the table like hotcakes. They had a pyramid there, and everyone was grabbing them. And I think they were $20 Canadian, if I remember right.
I think they were a little more than that. I think they were almost 30 Canadian because they had this really cool case that had the logo on it and stuff like that. It said game use puck. And they did come with like a certificate of authenticity on the back. And mine, actually, it's kind of cool. You can see that it has like some paint chips and stuff in it from the practicing and stuff like that.
Definitely was on the ice.
Yeah. So this was really cool. So this thing kind of kicked things off, because even before we had went to the team store, and we didn't pick anything up prior to this. I mean, we already I already had a jersey and stuff, so I didn't need anything. But then once we heard about that, Cody's like, we better go do that. So we made sure that we went and did that. And I'm really happy that we did, because I feel like that's really what kicked things off for Puck My Life was getting that puck. So actually, Cody, it's because of Cody and pointing that out that he started this whole mess.
I hope they still have that program. I think that's a cool perk. It gives a kind of a unique, personalized for each game. It's got the date on there, the matchup, and it was down there on the ice getting slung in the net by. Erik Karlsson was on that team. The Sedins were playing for Vancouver at the time. Who knows who handled that puck? But it's cool to know that it was on the ice at that game.
Most definitely. All right, concessions. So they had your typical stuff: Tim Hortons, Pizza. They had like the beer stands and stuff like that. The concourse actually wasn't really all that bad. You could definitely see that it's dated. I think you told me at one point that I think the guy who designed this also designed the Palace of Auburn Hills. So
yep, I think that's correct.
I remember when we got there,
architecture firm.
Yeah, because it looked pretty similar, like the outside, like it kind of had like a similar feel of it. But I thought it was pretty cool. I actually prefer sometimes going into these older venues over the newer ones, because there's just something about it that you just don't get from the newer ones, and it's something that I appreciate. So, and they also had the poutine, which there was a lot of people getting this poutine, and I regretted not getting this. So if I ever go back, definitely gonna get the big basket of the poutine with the curds and gravy.
You don't get that in the States.
No, you don't. All right, atmosphere. So this is actually during play, so you can see that there really wasn't a whole lot of people with the dark seats and everything like that. It was some of the sections, like the upper bowl, it's kind of hard to see, but even if you look lower bowl below the Jumbotron, there just was not a lot of fans there. And but the people that were there were having a good time. We had guys that were drunk next to us chanting F Vancouver for like 15 minutes straight, which was kind of funny. And
I think that was after it was like 3-0. I don't remember this being a close game.
Yeah, it was definitely a blowout. But the cool thing about this game is, so this was Erik Karlsson's first game back from his, I think it was a knee injury or something that he had.
Knee surgery.
Yep. So this was his first game back. So it was really cool to see him. And that was one of the perks that I thought that was cool. I've always liked him as a player, and it was sweet that he was able to get in that one. But as far as the atmosphere goes, it was a little bit on the quiet side for some of it, but the fans that were there seemed to be really engaged into what was going on. And, all the diehard fans were there, it seemed like. So I had a good time. I know you had a good time, and atmosphere was okay. Now this was really cool. So they did this during one of the intermissions. You can see the score there. It was 2-0 at this point. And so this is the race of the prime ministers. So we're actually going to give you a little snippet of this and show you what we viewed at this game. So enjoy.
Here comes Gordon. Was in the lead. There comes Gordon. Laurier last. Laurier's catch it up. Mackenzie King in the lead. He's about to get smoked by Gordon. Here's Sir John A. Laurier in the lead. Will Laurier hold on for the win? Adam King has something to do with it. Down he goes.
Those guys must have had a fun time doing that, and those mascots in the lion costumes that were like in the middle, like trying to push them and stuff as well. It's like those guys just love what they were doing. So I that to me was like, even though like the Senators lost, that was like the coolest part of the game to watch the Prime Minister's race. And if you're from Ottawa, let us know in the comments. Is that something that happens like every game, or is that something that only happens on special occasions, or maybe they do it like once a month? Like, I would be curious as to how often they do that, because that was definitely something really cool. And if you're going to a game, it's something that you'd want to witness in person for sure. So, all right. So for tonight's puck score, I gave the Ottawa Senators a 42, 9 for parking, 10 for tickets, 9 for merch, 7 for concessions, and a 7 for atmosphere. So what are your thoughts on this, Cody?
I agree with everything. Atmosphere, I honestly might bump down to a 5. It was pretty empty there, and I think the most noise I heard that crowd make was when they finished playing 500 miles, and for about 5 minutes straight, just the drunk section next to us, just 5 minutes straight of da 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 with no do 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 do.
Yeah, that was I forgot about that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing was with that, the atmosphere part is like, I was gonna dock them a little bit more for that, but like with everything else going on, the fans that were there were, they were cheering hard, even though they were getting their butts kicked. The fan base seemed to be really into the game, and they seemed to be engaged. They weren't like, getting all upset and just pouting and stuff like that. Like, they were there to watch some hard-nosed hockey, and they were cheering their team on, whether they won or lost. And so for that, I give them props.
I bet they have a much better atmosphere now. They got a better team, so we'll have to pop out there and give them a second go sometime.
Yeah. So hopefully sometime soon we can go out there and visit you guys again, and we can hopefully more people there will bump your score up for you. All right. So wow factor, I gave them a 1 out of 3. There wasn't anything that was like crazy, but like at the same time too, like, with them doing the puck thing was really cool, and then the Prime Minister's thing, but like other stuff is like, I mean, I could have probably gave them a little more, but I thought with all things considered, I thought just a 1 out of 3 with how everything else was going. It's just like to give them a total score of 43. So what are your thoughts on their total score now after you've seen this?
I think that's fair. That's
kind of fits them. So
a great time.
Yeah, we definitely did have a great time. And if you want to see some of the other great times that we've had, head on over to the Puck My Life Instagram page. You can click on the highlight tabs below, see some in-game content that we've shown, scroll down through, see some of the other highlight picks from those. We got some reels on there now. Also, if you see the giveaway tab on there, be sure to click on that. We're running a giveaway currently. Cody has not seen this yet. I was actually going to show it to him prior to us going live, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait. So this is what you guys are trying to enter in to win. And it's a Rumblebees puck. And then I found a guy on eBay that had the schedule from the first season. And then I got this BCW puck holder display. So if you win, this is what you're going to get, and we're going to ship it right out to your house, whether you're in the States, Canada, overseas, whatever. So this is what you will receive. And to enter in to win this, there's 2 different ways that you can enter in. You can either go on our Instagram page. You need to follow us, find this post, and then follow the instructions below. And if you would like to enter in for a second chance to get this puck, you can go over to our main page here on YouTube, find the thumbnail with the Who's That Hockey Team, click on that, and then below in the description, there will be details on how to get your second entry. Entries close at the end of this month, and then we will be choosing the winner on September 5th for that drawing. So be sure to do that. If you're having any problems entering in the giveaway, be sure to message us, either comment below or message us on Instagram if you're having any difficulty. I know I had at least one person was having some difficulties. They messaged me and we got this sorted out as to what they were doing wrong. So don't hesitate, reach out to us. We want as many people in this drawing as possible. So let us know if you're having any issues. All right, well, that wraps up tonight's game experience on the Ottawa Senators. I would definitely go back, and I'm hoping that sometime we can go up to Montreal, and then we can hit these guys on the way out or the way back, because it was a fun time. I don't know. I have heard, Cody, I don't know if you can verify this or not, but are they currently looking at getting a new arena?
I was just gonna say I've heard. I think I've seen some reports. I think they're probably putting it together, but I think they're looking at a new arena, and I think possibly looking at putting it downtown Ottawa. So right down, and I mean downtown Ottawa, we saw it's absolutely gorgeous, really beautiful city. So I think having a downtown arena would be great. I think it would really help with the atmosphere. Probably a lot more people would be willing to go to a downtown game rather than I think it's in the suburbs of, is it Canada? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but I think it's out in the suburbs. So I think hopefully maybe when we go back they'll be in some new digs, so we can check that out.
All right, sounds good. Well, we appreciate everybody for stopping by. And always remember that we do this. It's just for the love of hockey. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe as well. So we will see you guys on here next time. This Friday, we'll be going over the Toronto Maple Leafs. I was going to say Blue Jays there for a second, but I had to stop myself. Toronto Maple Leafs game experience this Friday. It was game 2 of this 2-game road trip. So you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you Friday.